What's going on, y'all? Marla Cross 316 back with another comic book flashback. Today we are looking at the Fantastic Four, issue number 6. This issue came out in September of 1962, and as we look on the cover today, we have Submariner teaming up with Doctor Doom for the very first time in this issue. I'm happy to look at this issue with y'all today. If you want to see great action, if you want to see a villain team up against the Fantastic Four, then you're in the right place. Don't click away because we just have an exciting story to look at today. The title of today's story is Captives of the Deadly Duo. And Submariner and Doctor Doom have given the Fantastic Four a run for their money in the last 5 issues. Remember, we had the introduction of Doctor Doom last issue, and then we had the return of the Submariner, who is known for the Golden Age, and he makes his very first appearance in issue number 4. Well, this is his second appearance right here. So now we have, from last issue how the Fantastic Four had fought Doctor Doom. Now we have the Fantastic Four seeking out Doctor Doom, as we just don't know where Doctor Doom went after last issue. We have the Human Torch looking for him. We have the Invisible Girl looking for the Human Torch. We have the Invisible Girl here making a public scene here as she is turning invisible, turning uninvisible. So people are just, again, the Fantastic Four, we need to understand, is pretty new on the scene here. They're only, this is their 6th issue. So again, they're pretty new to New York. They're pretty new superhero team. So we have Sue Storms here, who is the Invisible Girl. She returns to the Baxter building, catches up with the remainder 3 characters here. We have Mr. Fantastic, we have the Human Torch, and of course the Thing. They are all members of the Fantastic Four, and they're still searching. They can't find Doctor Doom. We see that Mr. Fantastic here, he visits someone who is sick. So again, Fantastic Four are known for their hospitality. They're known for their good deeds. We also see something funny here with Johnny Storm. He gets a letter, and it's actually for the Thing, and it's a letter from the Yancey Street Gang. And so we had the Thing here. He bends this steel looking, I don't know what this is a titanium steel block, and then he bends it and tells them if the Yancey Street Gang can unbend that, that'll be the day. But now let's get to what really is going on with this story. We have, again, we're going to have a team up with Submariner and Doctor Doom. So how is that all going to take place? Well, we have Submariner here. He's on the scene here. He's with these porpoises here, and he's, of course, diving in and out of the ocean here. When all of a sudden we have Doctor Doom on the trail. He's in this jet, and he notices that he sees the Submariner below, so he's going to swoop on down with his jet. And we have Namor here going to try to surprise Doctor Doom here. But here we go. We had the very first time that Doctor Doom and Namor meet for the first time. Doctor Doom has some knowledge about the Submariner and how the Submariner gave the Fantastic Four a run for their money. So now it looks like Submariner is going to show Doctor Doom his home from down under the sea. And this is where all of the negotiations going to be taking place here, as we see Doctor Doom reminding Namor about how he has he wants to have this revenge on the surface world because of the destruction of Atlantis. Atlantis used to be a beautiful city, but it's been destroyed because of nuclear activity because of the Cold War. And then Doctor Doom notices that Submariner has a picture of Sue Storms, and that's what's really keeping Submariner from declaring war on the surface world, is he doesn't want to get into contact with Sue Storms, as we have seen that he has some feelings towards Sue Storms. So he said, basically agrees with Doctor Doom that he's going to team up with Doctor Doom as long as he does not harm the girl, which is Invisible Girl. So they've set out a plan here, and Doctor Doom's going to show him this magnetic brainchild, as he calls it. And this is what's going to play into great detail here as how they're going to attack the Fantastic Four. So we see the Doctor Doom here. He gets this magnetic canister here. That's all I could really call it. Grabs a hold of this stone, this old stone head here. It's like an ancient head, like a monument. And look how it just lifts it in the ocean. This thing has to weigh a couple of tons. And we see, Namor the Submariner, he's pretty impressed by this. And so Doctor Doom is going to use this device to attack the Fantastic Four, and he needs Submariner's help. So it looks a little sketchy here. Is Doctor Doom really going to work with Namor here? Well, he sends Namor to the Fantastic Four. He wants Namor to basically distract the Fantastic Four while he makes his own dastardly plans here. So we see that Namor comes on the scene and he is seeking peace with the Fantastic Four. We also see that Johnny Storm comes across a picture of Namor and he's like, I knew you had a crush on him. And so he burns the photo. We have Sue Storm. She still has some feelings towards Namor here. He burns the photo and everybody wants some explanations. And all of a sudden we see Namor here comes on the scene. He's let into the building. And we have the Thing here. He's wanting to just let out some rage. He wants to fight Namor because of what happened in issue number 4. But Sue Storm's like, hey, come on, we need to hear him out. So that's exactly what's going to happen. Again, great storytelling by Stan Lee. Great artwork by Jack Kirby here. So we just have an awesome, awesome story here. So we see things are building up here. And we know that Submariner is working with Doctor Doom, but he's not telling them that he's working with Doctor Doom. Everything seems to check out A-OK as they are checking all the rooms to see if there's any booby traps. And all of a sudden, from above, we see like this crack here, and it looks like the Fantastic Four Baxter building is being lifted up in the middle of the air. And lo and behold, it is Doctor Doom who is lifting this building up into the air. And it looks like Doctor Doom has double-crossed Namor here, as he didn't tell Namor that he was going to do this. And so Namor basically tells the Fantastic Four that Doctor Doom is the one that's involved with this. He set the canister, this magnetic canister, in the basement so that Doctor Doom could lift the Fantastic Four Baxter building into space. We see that Sue Storm, she starts to faint here, but they all use their oxygen tanks, their oxygen equipment here. And so they're basically going to try to stop Doctor Doom's jet. They have to get to the jet, but it just doesn't seem to work. None of the Fantastic Four are able to reach the jet. Even Mr. Fantastic, who is able to get to the jet because of his stretching ability, is blasted by this burst of flame here. So now we have Mr. Fantastic out for the count. So Submariner is the only one that can stop Doctor Doom. So he asks Sue Storms if there's a water storage tank in the building. She says yes, it's on that floor. He dives into the water. It revives his strength, and this is going to allow Submariner to leap into the space. He's going to use the meteor shower to his advantage. He's going to leap onto the meteor shower here to reach onto Doctor Doom's jet. So now we see a very successful Namor here reaches to the jet. He punches through the jet, and he's now going to try to get to Doctor Doom's cabin here, when all of a sudden, the pilot cabin, and then all of a sudden we see that Doctor Doom electrifies Namor, and it seems to knock out Namor. We have Doctor Doom checking to see if there is any sound behind the door. Then he's going to release this switch, which will allow the Baxter building to plunge into the sun. He basically wants all the Fantastic Four to suffer, to die by plummeting into the sun. When all of a sudden, Doctor Doom is not able to release that switch as he's electrified, because remember that Namor has the powers of an electric eel. He's an Atlantean, so of course he has those unique powers, so he uses them to his advantage. He absorbs that electricity and forces it on Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom basically has to get out of the way, so he launches himself out of his own jet and grabs a hold of a meteor, And so now Doctor Doom is plummeting into space, into the unknown universe. So Doctor Doom's plans have failed here. Thanks to the Submariner, Submariner takes the Fantastic Four back home. So it looks like even though Submariner does not like the Fantastic Four, he was able to save the Fantastic Four in this issue. And then we see Namor launches Doctor Doom's plane here into the ocean. And so that's how we end this issue. I hope you liked it. It was a pretty unique issue, I have to say. And so I hope to see you next time as we look at issue number 7, as we are going to look at another startling Fantastic Four adventure. Hope to see you there. And until next time, keep reading comics.